pyromancer that has learned to channel and direct her fury rather than just explode. A skilled tactician fighting for an overtly selfish cause. Chandra and Dovan clash in War of the Spark, control and order versus tempered fury. But as seen on art for this set, does Chandra let her red mana nature get the better of her in a heated conflict? Does Chandra Nalaar kill, even if it's an enemy? So yes, today's topic of discussion is going to be more of a bragging video, as we've learned a lot from War of the Spark's official release, and we can really say that I've gotten some predictions right. A lot of people on Twitter and in my playgroup saw cards like Chandra's Triumph and assumed that Chandra kills Dovin Baan. Let's see if the Gatewatch's pyromancer, Chandra Nalaar, actually kills an enemy of hers. All this going down in War of the Spark. But before I go any further, I want you guys to stick around for the end of this video because we're doing a special giveaway series for all topic discussions on War of the Spark. So stay tuned for the details at the end of this video. So it's no secret Chandra and Dovan are bitter enemies, though maybe not as much as people would think looking at the spoilers from War of the Spark. Just take a look at Chandra's Triumph. Dovan is literally strung up by fire, thoroughly defeated, right? How could anyone withstand this pyromancer's prowess? Fire magic that burned through Eldrazi titans, no less. Dovan's finished, right? There's no way he survived. But wait, let's make the argument of Dovan's survival, at least from Chandra, in this video. So we know where they end up, but how did we get here? Well, it all started on the plane of Kaladesh, the home plane of Chandra Nalaar. The Gatewatch and Chandra were in fact summoned there by Dovin Baan himself, who had heard of the Gatewatch and sought their assistance on his world. The governmental force of Kaladesh, known as the Consulate, which Dovan was a cog of, was throwing an inventor's fair to celebrate the world's greatest artificers. But he was worried of a rogue faction of rebels looking to disturb the fair, and he wanted the Gatewatch to serve as security, basically. Not a job the Gatewatch was designed for, so they officially declined. However, Chandra hadn't been home in some time, and all this sounded fishy. It didn't sit right with her. She left to investigate the rebellion, knowing her father died a rebel, and her mother was still out there somewhere. Chandra wanted to protect and help them if she could. Leaving in haste, only a few other members of the Gatewatch would join her in her adventure on Kaladesh. The overall story of Kaladesh shows the consulate led by Tezzeret taking control of the ether supply used by inventors on this plane to build fantastic machines. With this access restricted, the general population were getting tense. Of course, Tezzeret was sent there by Bolas on a mission. Find someone talented enough to invent an interplanar portal device, something to allow non-planeswalkers to travel the multiverse. Thus the reason for all the control and command over the populace of Kaladesh. Dovan in this was Tezzeret's right-hand man, his Minister of Inspections, with the ability to find the most minuscule flaw in anything, even people. So at the core of everything, who is Dovin Baan? Is he some evil mastermind? Does he work with Tezzeret in search of complete control over Kaladesh and total destruction of the renegades and Chandra's mother? No. He actually just wants order and peace, and sees these renegades as a threat to that. He works with Tezzeret as leader of the consulate, not because he approves of his practices, but because Tezzeret lies to him the meaning behind them, believing them to actually be in the best interest of the general population of Kaladesh. He even takes one of Chandra's real enemies, Baral, the compliance officer who murdered her father, and smacks him down with the law. Dovan is a man, or Vedalken, of convictions. Strict as they are, he isn't out and out evil. So at least with what we know right now, Dovan just isn't the type of character to warrant a murder by the hands of one of the core characters Wizards is building their brand around. Of course, this is only part of the story, and War of the Spark, along with Ravnica Allegiance and Guilds of Ravnica, it shows that Dovan has more story behind him and his rise to power within the Azorius Senate. That in and of itself puts Dovan on a more evil path, as he allies himself with Nicol Bolas on the false promise of the Dragon Planeswalker. He offers Dovan the chance to make the guild system better and create the most orderly world in the multiverse, as Ravnica was already a civilized plane ready for a master technician to bring it all together. At least that's what Dovan thought. It was bait Dovan just couldn't resist, rising through the ranks of the Azorius through loopholes in their guild's rules, which he would promptly close behind him once he exploited them. Still, this doesn't directly hurt Chandra, at least enough to warrant an execution. But honestly, he really doesn't do anything specific in War of the Spark that's gonna lead Chandra down this path. So let me explain why Chandra just can't kill Dovin Baan. So in essence, those are the sins and the redeeming qualities of Dovan, but what about the other member of this equation, Chandra? Would she really go off the handle and murder Dovan, even if he did something completely terrible, like murdered Jaya Ballard or something? Let's explore her personality and figure that out. So in the beginning, Chandra was branded originally as a classic pyromancer, the embodiment of red mana, explosive, uncontrollable, passionate, impulsive. It was one of the biggest weaknesses Dovan wanted to exploit when sizing up the Gatewatch on Kaladesh. Using his unique eyesight and magical ability, he ascertained that Chandra was just that, impulsive and easily angered. But it's also something we know she's been working on through her lessons with Mother Ludi, her old mentor from Carol Keep who turned out to be Jaya Ballard, an old standing character and pyromancer herself from MTG history. So back then and even now with Jaya revealed to be helping them out, Chandra is learning patience, control, using her pyromancy in a controlled way for better results, rather than just exploding all over the place. This was seen when Chandra burned down the Eldrazi Titans in battle for Zendikar. She controlled the fire in a way that burned hot and even, rather than just exploding. These lessons did lead to better results, as the Titans were utterly destroyed. These are lessons that Chandra as a character has developed over several sets. It's one of the best examples of a character's evolution in the story. If she snaps and murders Dovan, basically in a fit of rage, it would literally spit in the face of everything Chandra has learned and ultimately prove that Dovan was correct in her weakness. Even if Jaya is stabbed to death by Dovan in War of the Spark, which we know doesn't happen, something super personal like that, it would be an affront to everything Jaya has taught her over the years. It would be predictable for Chandra's character to be impulsive, but it would be inconsistent with her character's development. It's just not gonna happen. So let's go back to the art of Chandra's triumph and her realization that she doesn't have to be perfect to succeed. That passion can be applied in a way that doesn't result in an uncontrollable explosion. See this fire? It's circling and binding Dovan, not engulfing him. It's controlling, not destroying. This is the control she's been working on for years. The ability to hold back even in an emotionally charged situation, letting cooler heads guide her skills. This is what Dovan just couldn't predict. Yet another twist, let's circle back. No, Chandra is not going to kill Dovan in War of the Spark. Remember, he's a pawn of Bolas, but not an out-and-out servant. Dovan as a character still cares for the safety of the innocents and order. Bolas is like the opposite of all that. With the release of War of the Spark, we now know what really goes down and how right that prediction actually was. For all the reasons mentioned above, Dovin Baan does not die, and doesn't even fight Chandra Nalaar despite what the card Chandra's Triumph might suggest. Let's explain exactly what's going on. So as the threat of Bolas becomes a reality Dovan saw coming because he has 20/20 magic eyeballs, we get a new sense of what this Planeswalker looks to achieve. Yes, he wants to rule and sculpt Ravnica to be perfect, as was promised by Bolas, but he also knows that Planeswalkers and Bolas himself would put that fantasy in jeopardy. Remember, Dovan above all else wants order in the multiverse, and Planeswalkers were nothing but chaos. As Bolas entered the Ravnican scene and activated the Immortal Sun, the Planeswalkers became trapped, as Dovan predicted and wanted. He no longer was on Team Bolas specifically, but rather Team Dovan, and his plan was to keep the Immortal Sun active even after Bolas succeeded, sparing the multiverse from their chaos once and for all. Sadly, his misguided idea would only fuel Bolas' ascension to godhood, and needed to be stopped. But not by Chandra, by the Dimir. Yes, the Dimir, the secret keepers and shapeshifters of Ravnica, were aware of the dragon's threat and were on board with the Gatewatch to help save the plane. Their guildmaster, Lazav, was teamed up with the Planeswalkers, Chandra and Saheeli, along with the previously second in command of the Azorius, Lavinia. Together with Lavinia helping them sneak in, they went in search of the immortal sun to shut it down and let as many Planeswalkers escape Ravnica with their sparks intact. Knowing the layout of the Azorius Guild Hall, she was perfect for the job. Lazav was on a special mission, something more suited for his guild: disguise and distraction. Using his shape-shifting abilities, Lazav strolls into the stronghold of the Azorius looking like Chandra Nalaar herself, prompting an audience with Dovan, who had unfinished business with the pyromancer. Though Dovan has the ability to see through people's flaws, the illusions of Lazav were flawless. He really thought he was fighting Chandra. And the fire scene in Chandra's triumph, well, it's real fire, but not from Lazav. He was given an Izzet grade flamethrower to act as the pyromancer's flames. A little odd to see, sure, but effective to the mind of someone under the sway of powerful illusions. To finish the fight, Lazav threw throwing stars, legit ninja level here, into Dovan's eyes, blinding the Planeswalker. Defeated and on the brink of being killed by the more ruthless Lazav, Chandra turns off the power of the immortal sun and Dovan escapes with his life, but not his vision, costing him his greatest asset and weapon forever. With its power gone, many Planeswalkers make their escape, all thanks to a band of strange tricksters who blinded a villain who claimed to see it all. And that art of Chandra's triumph, well, that's Lazav. And the whole player base was tricked once again. Anyway guys, there's more to come with Dovan in the future, especially as the new Living Guild Pact, Niv-Mizzet, has put out multiversal warrants for his arrest. For now though, it looks like Dovan will be safe from Chandra's rage, at least for the time being. Let me know your thoughts on these characters and their upcoming fight in the comment section below. As mentioned, I'm going to be doing a series of giveaways to help promote the videos here on War of the Spark, giving away the topics of discussion signed by me to one lucky viewer per video. Remember to enter, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and share it around. Share it with friends on social media or on Reddit. The channel is trying to bring Vorthos content to the mainstream, and just imagine having a lore channel at 100,000 subscribers. I can't do it without you guys, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a signed copy of Chandra Fire Artisan while you're at it. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time here on the Ether Hub. See ya!